Have you seen flashy posts promising you returns of 50%, 80, 100% return in just a few days? Don't you think that's just insane? Today, I'll be talking about why people keep falling for these kinds of scams and Ponzi schemes, and more importantly, how to never be one of them. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Miss Wangui Muithathi, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about how crazy how people just keep falling for these scams. As much as you're told to do your due diligence, we somehow still fall for these get rich quick schemes. It's sad that a lot of people have lost their money. I don't know if they're going to get back their money. As much as you're told do your research, go to their offices. Nowadays things are so bad that these people actually even rent out space just to actually con people, and when they're done they just shut down. You can have proof of where their offices are, but they keep getting smarter and smarter each day, which now forces you to also be smarter. You have to be on the lookout every time. Let's begin with the allure, that thing that hooks the investor. You, for instance. This is the allure for quick wealth, of which you can't blame anyone. We all would love to. Most people are tired, So if you can get a way in which you can acquire quick wealth, most people are prone to go for that. But most of it is guided by greed and desperation. You see, when get rich quick promises hit our feed, think 100% return on investment within a month or even in a week. That directly speaks to our greed and desperation, nothing else. It becomes even more worse if you are an individual who's drowning in things like debt, or you're going through financial stress. That siren call drowns your common sense. Okay? Because you see, in this instant, already you're desperate. You're willing to do anything, maybe to get out of debt. You can imagine. Another allure is economic pressures. In unstable economies or losing a job, the risk-reward calculation skews. And this is where you'll find people gambling everything, hoping for a miracle payday. Okay. But you see, it's not just about the promise of money. It's who is delivering that promise. Which brings me to the power of social media and these people we call influencers. Okay? Because people like influencers are the ones who are going to be posting false credibility. You find an influencer sharing polished screenshots of payments from these companies. Something like, here's my 5K profit, I made 70,000 last month. But you see, these are things that can be easily fabricated by you or even me and cherry-picked. Parasocial trust means followers believe even paid promotions. And that's where this influencer is part of that Ponzi scheme. Because they're told, maybe, post this, do this, say this, and you get a commission of this. The more people you bring, the more you cut. I don't know, for instance, I'm thinking, maybe you're told, if you bring us 5 clients, you get a certain percentage of money. To them, that's business. At the end of the day, nobody cares about you. And when you remember everyone is out here to get your money, you need to be very careful. These influencers you're following and admiring online, anyone who's posting those things, that's clickbait. Also the fear of missing out, FOMO, They'll keep using urgency phrases. For example, limited spots. And when you see this, it creates anxiety in you. This is because FOMO pushes us people to act fast and think later. Talk about pressure. Underneath, our brains operate on shortcuts that scammers love to exploit. Okay? They just know, or they just have a way of taking advantage of your psychological vulnerabilities. They've mastered this art somehow. If you need a social proof, look at how we follow people around. Normally, we follow crowds. Yeah? A dozen fake testimonials can actually convince us that a certain scheme is legit. Right? Or am I right? There's confirmation bias. Focusing on the few positive reviews, we dismiss warnings out of hand. And something like overconfidence. When you find yourself believing in yourself too much, you believe you'll time the exit. I'll just put in a few dollars, a few Kenya shillings, a few thousands, and then I'll just time. I need to be, perfect time to exit. Yeah, so they don't catch me off guard. You'll be caught off guard. Okay. So you think you'll exit before the collapse. In this case, this is you underestimating how quickly Ponzi schemes unravel. And believe you me, they will remind you. They are the masters at this game, okay? They are taking advantage of your weaknesses, of the fact that you're a human being. So most of the time, you'll never exit on time. And that's why a lot of people are crying and complaining about their lost money. But it beats me. How do you fall for 100% return on investment within a month? It beats me. Anyway, let's talk about the knowledge gap that these scammers actually exploit. This is where you, as an investor, lack to do your due diligence, and you also lack financial literacy. You join these companies or these schemes with unrealistic expectations. Most savers don't know realistic market returns. For example, a 7 to 10% annually. That makes sense, okay? 10 to 15, roughly 7, it fluctuates. 7, 8, 9, 10. When it's a bit higher, it's 18. And then it goes back down, 15, annually, not monthly, not weekly. That's you being realistic. But now when you cross the border and you become unrealistic, that's when you believe 100% return on investment within a week or a month. Ulisikia wapi? So this is to say 50% in days seems plausible, right? Let's touch a little on research barriers. Regulatory terms, for example, registered with CMA, this is Capital Markets Authority, or SEC approved, can feel like a foreign language to some people. But this is because you refuse to learn. You think financial literacy is about subtraction and addition. I had 500,000, now I need 1 million. That's 1.5. It's beyond that. You need to do things like verifying through official websites. You just Google these things. But now, because it seems like too much work, verifying seems daunting, so people skip it. Don't you think that's a very expensive mistake? Meanwhile, these scammers, they refine their playbook with advanced tactics. They will always be one step ahead of you, whether you like it or not. Some of these scammer tactics are they'll use psychological manipulation. Like I said earlier, they use urgency words. For instance, only 100 spots left. Exclusivity, invitation group only. You see that, you feel so special. There's nothing special about it, actually. They're just playing with your mind. Those are mind games. This is just an insider jargon to make you lower your guard. They will mimic legitimacy. You'll have them, you'll see them having the slickest websites, Hey, Baka, you're like, this website, this is a cool, it's so clean, They'll have the best websites, They'll go for professional logos, fake regulatory badges. And when you look from afar, from a distance, even when you get close, everything just looks so authentic, even to savvy investors. And that's why you'll find new investors and some old investors falling for these Ponzi schemes. But wait a minute. This is not just about individuals. It's about the very system that allows these Ponzi schemes to spread. The structural enablers. These are the digital ecosystems and something like regulatory gaps. You'll find global payment apps and crypto making fund transfers instant and very difficult to trace. So it becomes just difficult to get your money back. On the other hand, you'll find platforms operating offshore like CBEX. That way, they often dodge local oversight, giving these scammers free rein. So all this is against you, which brings me to the question. So how do you shield yourself? How do you protect yourself from these Ponzi schemes, scammers, these fake influencers? You know, these people who are out to get your money by any means necessary. Here are some practical tips. 1. Verify regulation. Check official regulator websites. For example, in Kenya we have CMA, Capital Markets Authority. We have SEC in the US. Use this for platform registration. 2. Question too good promises. You know, you're told when the deal is too good, think twice. But sometimes when the deal is too good, it's just like, I have to take a bite. No. So if it sounds like free money, it almost always is. 3. Research thoroughly. Google the platform name plus scam or complaint. Scrutinize the terms and conditions. Be thorough. 4. Ignore social media hypes. Kwanza, if you see these things on social media, if you're scrolling on TikTok, just like you don't want to see it, you know? Avoid that. Don't feel guilty. They'll make you feel like you're slow, like you are not making enough money, like you're way behind, you know. In short, treat influencer endorsements as ads, okay? As paid ads, unless proven otherwise, okay? Or think of it like this. This is someone who has been paid by someone else to get you money. Or they've been promised something if they can get you to put your money with them, if that makes sense. Okay. And finally, educate yourself. Learn basic ROI benchmarks and common red flags. ROI is return on investment. Do this because knowledge is your best defense. They say knowledge is power. Okay. Lastly, don't invest in something you don't understand. To wrap up, Ponzi schemes thrive by exploiting our emotions and system loopholes. Okay? At the end of the day, true wealth grows slowly. So anyone who's coming to tell you how to make quick cash, that is not your friend. Okay? That's someone who's okay planning for your downfall. They are not supposed to be at your table. You should not be talking to these types of people. Don't associate yourself with these people. Okay? With discipline, patience, and education, you will be able to protect yourself. Stop falling for these get-rich-quick schemes. There's nothing like get-rich-quick. Sawa sawa? It's sad, but true. At the end of the day, nothing good comes easy. I am Miss Wangui Muithathi, your personal finance and investment coach. See you in my next video.